What's good, y'all? It's your boy, No Big Deal. Welcome back to Creative Control, the podcast where we jump into music, God, and the intersection of faith and creativity. Today, on our 11th episode, we have with us my friend, producer, writer, rapper, singer, entrepreneur, business owner, podcast host, you know what I mean, money flipper.
All the things.
Bag multiplier, not bag fumbler. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hope y'all got that one.
Nate Rose.
What's
good,
going
bro?
on, bro? It's a beautiful set you got here. It's probably a real beautiful woman that put this together.
Yeah. Okay, so for those that don't know,
You can keep it a secret
I can keep it a secret.
if you want, unless you want.
You know what I'm saying? You know, we both use this studio.
True.
You know, who could say who owns it? Who could say who rents from who?
That's true.
Who knows? You know what
Who
I mean?
knows?
But, you know, we both use it, and that's what's important. But we both use it because we're tied in like that.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Because we thick as thieves.
You know what I'm saying? Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
We thick as thieves. We were, you know, for those who have ever watched my podcast, we have now replaced David with Dylan. He's the stand-in.
Wait. I don't feel comfortable with that.
No?
Man. No. Juneteenth was 2 days ago. I just feel like this isn't right, bro. Okay. Let's reel this in.
All right, let's do it.
For those people who don't know, how did we meet?
I don't know the specific moment. We met via Mowgli. So me and Mowgli were really good friends in college.
Yeah.
Still good friends, but at that time also. And
Mowgli the iceberg.
yeah, Mowgli the iceberg. And I think it was probably us doing that basketball song. Mm-hmm. Right?
MTSU Blue
the
Raiders.
MT. So we beat who do we beat to go into the Sweet 16? We beat.
Don't know.
I think it was Michigan State.
Michigan State.
Maybe it was Michigan State, and then you had the idea.
Joey, can you pull up who? We don't
Joey?
we don't have a Joey.
Athanasios, bro. Come on, man.
Chelsea, can you pull up who MTSU beat? Oh wow.
On it. Your phone.
Yeah.
If it was Michigan State, I need a pat on the back on camera.
It might have been Michigan State. I mean, I literally could look it up, but I just wanted to do the off-screen thing.
Yes. So anyway, we did that, and then you wanted to remix Future's March Madness, to which
That was for the basketball team.
it was.
Yeah.
You know, it
oh,
was.
you're saying
Yeah. So then I think Mowgli. I guess you probably asked who's a third person we can get on this. If I had to imagine how the conversation went, because then he asked me, and then I was like, yeah, let's get it.
Yeah.
I think that's it, right?
It was what?
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, you don't get a pat on the back.
Dang, bro.
Yeah. Okay. I think we met before that though.
Did we?
So I know I knew who you were before that. I don't know. That might have actually.
I think that's.
I think Nate was right.
Oh,
was I?
Was it Michigan?
Yeah, I was on the wrong year.
Thanks, brother.
Let's see. Yeah.
Michigan State.
Yeah, because the article I have is them beating Minnesota, but then it references your
All right,
year they beat
Michigan.
State.
Michigan. So that might have been when we met. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I know that the first time I saw you, it was Mowgli showing me a video. I don't know if he shot it, but it was a video of you. And I remember
Kamikaze, probably.
You did a backflip.
Probably Kamikaze.
Did you do backflips in a lot of your videos?
No, I was always trying to hook people.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that was a talent that I had.
Backflip.
Yeah.
I think you were Illuminate.
Yep.
At the
I think
time.
it was Kamikaze, probably.
Yeah, probably.
He shot that.
Kamikaze. Oh, he shot it?
Yeah, he shot
okay,
it.
then it was definitely that. Yeah. So that's how I learned about you. That could have been the first time.
Where do we meet though? I thought we met like physically in person at like a banquet thing, I think. Now I also was aware of you via Mowgli, so it could have been, you know, I pulled up to like your Canopy release show and things like that at the time. But I don't know, like I feel like we went through a good period of time where we kind of just knew of each other and, you know. But I think our first like crossover point was that song.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and the MTSU basketball team, like I think they reposted it first, and then they
and then
us at the banquet.
They had us at the banquet, and it was the most
most
it was so awkward, dog,
performance.
because it was just you and me.
Y'all got a picture.
So
this, man.
Mowgli was not there. All right, so we have an auditorium. It was probably 5,000 people, maybe.
Yeah,
something like that. And
You guys got to understand, this is MTSU is in the Sweet 16.
Yes, biggest upset in NCAA history.
Yeah, I mean this like we never
shouldn't
make
have
it
beat
that
Michigan State.
We never make it that far in the tournament.
Yep.
So I mean, it's like the campus is electric right now. This is a crazy moment. So I need y'all to be in that mind state. All right.
Yeah, at the end of the year, they had this artistic banquet, and the basketball team. You know, we're not a Division I. You know what I'm saying? So
We're
it was
D1.
Are we?
Yeah, but it was Sun Belt, but D1.
Oh yeah, okay, my bad. I'm sorry, but anyway, we had the whole basketball team up, and they were like, "What would be a great idea is we heard the song circulate around. We should have these guys come and perform it." The problem was nobody on the basketball team had heard of this song.
Yeah, exactly.
So all the basketball team standing up there on the stage in front of all, like everyone who is in any kind of athletics and whatever.
Right.
And we come up and perform this song, and the basketball players are just standing up there behind us like giants.
Yeah.
Just going like, what is this?
So, but the thing is, and it was to March Madness. Like,
yes,
it was over the March Madness instrumental. So imagine you're a basketball player. This is a massive future song, and this is at the height of it. You're a basketball player. This is the biggest moment of your career so far. This is one of MTSU's biggest moments athletically, right? Banquet, 5,000 people. All right, March Madness by Future drops. It's like, oh, we about to go crazy.
Yeah.
Two random dudes come out and start rapping not Future verses.
Yeah, they got the Walmart version.
And they're like,
that was one of the biggest
what?
moments of my career to date, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wear that like a badge of honor, dog.
Really
I felt it. You know what I'm saying? I perform the lyrics like, you know, from my soul.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, bro, but I take everything I do seriously.
I mean, we were taking this, and you like choreographed.
Oh, look, I was trying to add a little.
You had
Wait.
choreography,
No,
bro.
hold on. Don't say choreography as if we went up there and just did like a full on dance thing.
Bro, you kind of set up some choreography, bro.
I said you and I had never performed it. We
That's
didn't know,
correct.
like I literally just knew my
Yeah.
verse, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Yo, we should like look as if we have prepared like at all." So I just, you know, so I don't remember what we did, but I'm like, we should put like a moment or two in this. Don't act like you don't come on stage and, you know what I'm saying, bob the head and
No, I
you know
know,
what I'm saying.
I know.
It's moment creation.
Listen, man, I'm just saying that you had choreography. This is a true
We made
statement.
it happen.
You wanted us to switch places. Remember that? I remember because I had never done anything like that before.
Okay.
You wanted us to like kind of like.
Look, I got triggered by the word choreography because
You know the
it
fusion
makes
dance?
me no. Your audience is gonna think I went up there and tried to Chris Brown it. You know what I'm saying? And
Nah, just some, some
Jason Derulo it. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Megan,
definitely not Jason Derulo. It was like, if anybody knows the Dragon Ball Z fusion dance, it was like that. It was like the fusion dance.
Okay, all right.
That's how I remember it.
And
You
we
know what I
became less powerful on stage.
we fused and became less powerful. yeah, bro. And the thing is, like, let's be honest, like how
bad.
tall the basketball players were, bro. Like, it's like if you just had Giannis behind you, like, and you're performing a song that he doesn't know, bro, and he's like, I guess I'm up here kind of grooving to this.
Yeah. Also, we have they also didn't know who we were
At all.
So there's no like.
We could have been any
they're
other
not even
two males in the world.
There's no supportiveness to it. It was just kind of like, what is going on right now? Yeah.
They were doing their
awesome.
own thing they were having their own experience behind us, and we were doing the fusion dance.
Yeah, I think,
front of them.
dude, let me dig. Maybe we can throw up some photos. If I can find old photos of that, bro, we'll throw it up in this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude.
Yeah, okay, so all
right.
that's
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the album, bro.
Whose? Yours.
Yeah, my album, The People We Became.
Okay.
So you were at the writing camp.
I was.
And this is kind of the first time, I think, this is the first time that I've ever done a writing camp process for an album. And you were part of what inspired that, because I know you do that like pretty regularly.
I've done 2 now. Yes. So I'm glad I inspired that. It was a new thing for me when I did it, like with Pie at the Party.
Yeah.
It was a brand new thing, but it was something that I wanted to try. There was a whole like big shift within myself that kind of led to that.
Yeah.
But now it's like just efficient, like you make better music.
Yes.
It's more of a creative environment. So I prefer it actually to just what I'm used to doing, which is just sitting in my room by myself, doing everything top to bottom.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And the one you did for Pie at the Party, that's like, you invited me to that one, but I couldn't come to the whole thing, but I like swung by like one of the days. I don't even think I came to like one of the recording ones, but it was like you guys were having lunch or something, and I came by. Do you remember that? It was like,
Yeah, I think so.
yeah. And so, but then just seeing like footage from it and you telling me about it, I was like, man, that does feel like a better process. Like, because similar to you, most of the time, it's similar in the way that I'm by myself. Like before this process, I was by myself, just cutting vocals at my house, sending it off to mixing, and that. It's different from you because you also like produce and mix and things like that. But I was just getting production or working over FaceTime with the producer on production, cutting the vocals and sending it off. So, but between the last album I did, Lowercase Tape in 2019, and this album, The People We Became, I did 2 Indie Tribe albums, and those were at Tribal Council, which is like our writing camp. So I had like experienced that a little bit and that collaborative nature, and I was like, man, let's try it with this one. And so that's the first time that we worked in like that type of capacity. Like me and you, like, okay, we're in here for a week, like, and it was a very dope experience because with this specific album, I came in with these demos that I've been writing for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the kind of the purpose of the camp was to take these raw ideas and like bring them all the way to their final form, you know, and so it was me and you and Bunker Boy, Enzo, who else was there?
350 was there.
350 was there. 350 just ended up being there for the vibes.
Yeah.
I think A3 came through for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Marcellus came through for a little bit for the vibes. But it was dope, bro. We just got that like kind of cabin-y house by the water and just locked in. But specifically with me and you, it was dope because I've never worked with somebody that would help me with writing. Like I've been like intensely just kind of like classic hip hop, like every single lyric, every single melody or whatever is coming from me.
Yeah.
And so this was the first time I was kind of like in my head, like a little bit apprehensive about the process, but man, it was amazing. It's like amazing having somebody else that has that skill set that you can bring your like idea and concept and like bounce these ideas off back and forth until you get the ultimate version of the concept. I think it's like slept on in hip hop a little bit.
No, I think it is at the indie level. You know, like I mean, if you look at Sicko Mode, there's over 30 people that worked on that record. You know what I mean? And I think that, you know, I think Drake catches a lot of flack for like ghostwriting and things like that. And there are times where he'll just, you know, like pop songwriters or whatever would just get straight up a song with lyrics and all and whatever. You know, and I think there's but Drake's also a lot of times making fun songs that make him sound cool. So there's not a ton of like, you know, message or meaning behind it. But I think it gets a bad rep because if you're an artist that's creating, Drake 100% can make a song top to bottom himself that is a hit. Like that's not a question. Stop it. Stop the cap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the fact is that you have a particular way in which your brain approaches music creation. And so bringing somebody in that on the same beat has completely different ideas than you. Once you go, oh wow, I never would have thought to take that melody there or that rhythm there. Then you can pull it in and now you're experiencing growth as an artist. Because number one, you heard somebody approach it that way right? So then now maybe your brain can start to open up in that direction.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, in terms of the end product, you're getting something that has melodies that we've never heard from Dylan never, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's great because you want to constantly seek for that. You know, if you're still making the same album 5 years later, you know what I'm saying? Good luck trying to be a superstar artist.
Right.
And I think the second thing to say on that point is that, you know, it helps that we're actually real life friends.
Yes.
Because in terms of the topical nature of things, I know who you are and know a lot of what you believe in and what you want to communicate. Mm-hmm. And I think what's helpful is like when if we go the mumble track route, all right, cool. What is it? What is this song intended to be about? You know, maybe you wrote the whole first verse. It's like, you could tell me what it's about. And I go, okay, cool. Well, here's the syllables. Here's how we can land. And then you and I are trying to fill it, but we know where we're trying to get to. So we have a rubric for it, which is your vision and your concept. But then I know you, so I know what types of things you would want to say or want to communicate. So I can be like, well, if we tried this, and you're like, I don't like that, let's try this. And it kind of goes from there. So I think the personability of it as well is really helpful.
Yeah, I don't think that I would actually be able to, because though I agree with you on, like, you know, Drake could do a song top to bottom, so like, but I think the process that we did is a lot different than his, because I actually don't think I could, or I don't think I would, just accept a reference track like from just to have a song done. Because the purpose is completely different. Like, again, I'm coming in with this one concept, these ideas, and how do we just get them to the ultimate? So everybody that was there is somebody that I know, you know, and especially if you're giving suggestions that have to do with the concept, like, we got to be tapped in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
for the record, like, none of the writing process was like Drake. I don't know if they were picking that up, but I was just trying to illustrate the fact that, like, you obviously to this point you have
right
you know, written everything and whatever. Yeah. But then I mean, anytime I collaborate with people, I'm always gaining something new. Like, I mean, when John Keith came to Pie at the Party, it was the first time I had ever done a camp. And I was seeing his approach to layering vocals and background layers and gang vocals. You know, obviously, he used a lot of gang vocals in his stuff. And that's something that I picked up and translated in my own way now. And so the way that I think about my song, I'm like, oh, here's a really impactful moment that would sound, you know, it's like a thing that I picture in my head hearing chanted. Okay, I can do that now. That's a place that my brain goes where otherwise wouldn't have.
Right.
You know?
And that's the thing, is like, that's what collaboration is for. And is like, I mean, the way that the writing process worked at the camp was like, kind of like a jam band session. Like, every other type of genre, like, does this, you know, like, even if you're just talking musically, like, even with no lyrics, like, a band gets together and they have jam sessions. That's what it's like called, you know. And the guitarist, you know, the bass player, keys, whatever, drum, like, they're playing stuff that they would play alone in their room. And because of how everybody else is popping off, that changes the idea of what they're, and that's very much what it was like. You know what I mean? It was just like a jam session.
You know what it is it's more of a spirit of play. Yeah. You know, like, if freestyling feels like that too. Yeah. It's where you
it's kind of what it is, but
And so there's this whole kind of going back and forth, and that playing it's fun with people you rock with and like friends, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You get to just let creativity just like come out, and then everybody's getting like a different thing from it. Like, I used to freestyle a lot. I don't really anymore, but in college we used to do freestyle circles, and we would throw a beat on, and somebody would start with a specific type of flow, and they'd either do, you know, we'd be like, all right, we're going to do 2 bars or 4 bars or 1 line or however we would do it as an exercise. And so they would come up with a flow, and it's like, oh, now everybody has to match that flow as we go around. Yeah. You know, but that puts you in, it helps you to be more creative, because you get to crack those little codes and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. And it's like, fun.
Also, some of it is like, some of what you will write just changes if you're in a room of people, if with that energy. Like, for example, we just, like, the gang vocals on Renaissance, like, that's probably not going to happen if you're alone in a room. Like, I mean, it could, but it's so much more natural and organic when you've been with these 5 people. You know what I'm saying? And somebody's cooking up over here on like trying out different sounds for a beat, and I'm writing a verse, and you're downstairs like
in the sauna,
in the Japanese sauna, like bro, like you have these different, it's like, man, it's so different when all that energy's in there. And I think that you can hear, and that's compliments we get about the Indie Tribe stuff too. It's like, man, it just sounds like organic. It sounds like y'all are really like friends and like a family. And it's like, yeah. And that's why the stuff is like, it's a different level because it's multiple creatives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Pushing each other. Like there's stuff that bro, I think that process was so fire because I do think people think either, all right, somebody is alone in a room and they just like, you know, they're just writing everything, or somebody else writes it for them. But like the process was crazy. It's like I'm literally at the mic, I've got like my lyrics and I'm rapping them, and you're like, what if you tried it like this? Like what if you like, you know what I mean, just like had your delivery slide like this, or like the I've been sitting with, and you're literally doing that. Like I'm at the mic and I'm like, and you're like, try it like, I've been sitting with a ghost. I've been listening.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and we're doing it over and over, and like,
yep.
That was just so fire. Like, you know, to have kind of that artistic camaraderie to where it pushes, and people love, like, they're like, man, there's so much innovation on this. And I think that it happens in isolation, but man, it's so much more natural and I think organic. Yeah. In community.
Yeah.
You know?
And it sounds innovative because like they're used to hearing a particular thing from you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If when John came to the writing camp, it's like I was pushed in areas that I wouldn't have usually gone in. Yeah. So yeah, it's great, man. I actually think it's a great model. I think because of the internet age, everybody has the home studio. I think it's a blessing and a curse. It's a double-edged sword that you can create and make everything yourself. I mean, me and Mowgli and someone like Russ and stuff. We were the archetype of person that was, I'm doing everything myself, top to bottom. Yeah. I do my own cover art. I do my own video.
Remember Russ used to put it at the end of his videos. Like,
right. Yeah, direct. Yeah, exactly. And we wore it like a badge of honor, but at some point, it's like, you're not the best at all those things.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? And so you could be a generalist, but then you got to specialize in a particular area. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, man, if you actually want the best product, you gotta try to tap other people with specialty. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I
had a great time, bro. I appreciate you having me, man. Some great songs on this project, bro.
Man, yeah, I mean, Renaissance just released, and I mean, yeah, people like the flows on it, of course the gang vocals, like I feel like people are really connecting to it. And I just think it's like those special moments, which I feel like that might be like your superpower, is like thinking through special moments in songs. Would you agree with that?
I do think that is something that that I definitely try to approach. I think moment creation is very important. Yeah. Yeah.
Like even when I'm sitting in with studio sessions with you, like that's like what I feel like you really like geek out about, is like just moments in songs where everything changes, or like
what keeps it interesting. I think that you want to have stuff that's unpredictable but tastefully unpredictable. Yeah. And somebody like Drake, who's been able to somehow stay on top for as long as he had. I mean, that's a lesson that you learn from Drake. If you listen to his music, listen to how many times he'll do a hook one way at the beginning, and the second time the hook is the same except for these 3 lines that went a different melodic way. Yeah. That when you heard it, you expected something that went this way, but it also sounded so good. Yeah. Or the God's plan, like he knows what he's doing when it's like you drop all the stuff out. Like she said, "Do you love me?" Yeah. That's the most memorable part of that song. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. And that's, they made a conscious decision to remove that beat. And so I think that those are the types of things that also help replay value. Yeah. Because if you are anticipating that second hook sounding different than the first, but you want the first hook because
establish.
It,
I feel like that's,
establishes the basis for it. Then you get this tasteful switch up. Yeah. That's the type of stuff that allows you to like replay a song a bunch of times because you get a lot of different things and tasteful things. So
anticipating moments, and then like you get to participate in the moment.
Exactly.
I just saw that with Kendrick's like concert last night or whatever. Like he obviously thinks through that stuff too. The moments, like the wop 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 wop, like that. That is the way that went up at the concert was crazy.
Yeah.
Like they know his other lyrics. Everybody's singing all the lyrics, but you can hear the crowd pops on these parts that were like intentionally like, I know the crowd's going to go crazy at this part. You know what I mean? And even dropping the whole beat for the A minor part. Did you see it? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen some of the clips.
Like
I didn't watch it. It was on Prime, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't watch it either, but there's a clip of like him doing like dropping at the A minor and just letting the crowd do it. And he's just like dancing or whatever. Yeah. But I think it's easier to think of those things like in community and in community with other artists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So all right, let's I want to introduce you to those who don't know you. So let's talk about your early like come up in music. Like how did you get into it?
When I was 15, I mean, I was in a couple bands, you know, I started making silly songs. Like I had this program called Acid Express, and my uncle gave me a computer mic that was like just plugged in 1/8 inch, and it was like a little white computer mic. And so I started just messing around. I was making dumb songs, you know?
Yeah.
And,
what type of band? Like,
well, I was in a metal band. I was in a couple metal bands.
Like, the frontman?
Dude, actually, at the time I was playing drums, and then what happened was, so I was playing drums, and we were like, okay, we have this vocalist, and it was like the one guy that I knew in our high school that had any ability to like do screaming vocals.
Yeah.
But then when we were like practicing and stuff, he had just zero stage presence.
Yeah.
And so I used to like dance in talent shows and like you know, I was always kind of a entertainer at heart, and so I'm like, dog, I just got to learn how to scream so that I could, because like this is boring, you know what I'm saying? Just like this, you know?
Yeah.
And so anyway, that was kind of an entry there. But through several failed bands, I mean, I quickly realized that I was taking it way more seriously. I wanted it way more than any of these other people that I was working with. Because like, I would come off as pushy because I'm like, yo, like, we only practice once a week. Our guitar player just decided he couldn't show up.
Yeah.
So now we're practicing twice a week. We have to write songs, and then we have to try to like do photo shoots and do this. And it seemed like people just kind of wanted to get together and
jam,
hang and play some music, jam. And I'm like, that's not what I want. And at the time, you know, I'm exploring different types of music. You know, I'm doing different things, and you know, I try my hand at a bunch of different things. And I did a rap on a beat. I think I was 15 years old, and I remember I synced it up to my iPod at the time, iPod Nano. And this is not going to sound novel at all to anybody who grew up in the streaming era, but this was a novel idea when you had a physical device that wasn't a CD. Yeah. Right, but you had a physical device that music got uploaded to. I was riding on the bus home from school, or up to school, and I was big into Lil Wayne at the time. And of course, I Feel Like Dying was playing. Bro. And then, love that song. And then right after that, like my song had synced up to it. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, I'm on this thing with Lil Wayne. You know what I mean? Yeah. But really, it was, anyway, I'm giving you so much backstory. But the point is that I really quickly developed a passion for music. Like, all I wanted to do is when I got home is just like make songs. Like, I was like, I can, and the reason I really like making music, one of the reasons I like making music is you just get to create freely and fairly quickly. You know? That's a conversation I have with David a lot, is like, and you know, David's a filmmaker, but what's required to make a film for him to do the art that he does? Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
So much budget, so much coordination. I can just go into a room
and
just
sit down in 2 hours have a
I can just create. I can just like, you know what I'm saying, play in that way. But yeah, dude, I got hooked, and then I started taking it really seriously probably about 16. I was doing t-shirt pre-sales in high school. To my friends, I was traveling on the weekends, bro. I'd travel to neighboring cities. That's right. But yeah, I used to travel to neighboring cities.
And where is this?
So I was in Cleveland, Tennessee, but I would go to like Knoxville or Atlanta, and I would just go to the malls and try to. I got business cards printed, and I had headphones, and I'm like, yo, I'm a rapper.
Yeah.
I was trying to get it out. I was doing it at my track meets. I was going because it was all the different schools were at the track meet, so I would go to each tent in between my races.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So I just got obsessed, man. Went to college for music business and just pursued it until I was able to go full time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I know like in college, like you always kind of had that like hustler spirit, like. You would be selling CDs like at other people's shows, like.
Yep. That's how I met my wife.
Yeah.
I met my wife.
Tell that story.
Okay, so I was selling CDs at a Jon Bellion concert.
Hustled yourself into a wife.
Yeah,
bro.
Dude. I mean, come on, dog.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on, dog.
Hey,
put some respect on my name.
All right, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
No, you're good. So I went to a Jon Bellion concert at Exit In, 500 capacity.
So this is early
show.
Bellion.
This is 2016.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, all right, cool. Like there'll probably be some people in this demographic that might mess with the music. And so I popped over there and I had a Bluetooth speaker. I was playing it for people in line going through. But yeah, ended up meeting her. She drove 7 hours from Southern Mississippi. It was the closest Jon Bellion concert to where she was at.
Crazy. And
she was there with some friends. And anyway, I ended up connecting with them just like, I was getting in conversations and just doing the thing. But we ended up exchanging Snapchats and then, anyway, so on Snapchat, like, I thought she was funny and I was like, yo, we should FaceTime, And she was like, nah. Well, she wasn't like, nah, but she said she wasn't like available. She's like, oh, like I'm busy or whatever. And then I'm like, so when are you free?
Oh, okay.
So,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And then at that point, she was like, all right, I'm free Sunday. We hopped on FaceTime on Sunday. It was a 7-hour call. So,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? We locked in. We were like, because I had a sense, bro. I was like, this girl, I think this girl's funny. I think we have a similar, like, you know what I mean? So, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, humor is all like, that's the one thing. Like,
humor.
Yeah.
But also music taste.
Yeah.
And also think about why, demographics are present in music for a reason.
Yeah.
There's an underlying.
Yeah. Well, I would say especially for an artist like Jon Bellion. Like if you both just liked Drake, that doesn't really tell you that much.
Yeah, that's true.
But like
Jon 500
Bellion,
capacity
at the time, if you both like love an artist that's doing 500 caps, bruh, you skipped past a lot of steps. You know what I mean? Demographic wise, like you guys are in a similar grouping of people. In the world.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, hustling CDs definitely got me there.
Yo, Jon Bellion is like I feel like he's like I don't know, like, what is it? The degrees of separation. Like for creatives, I feel like so many people I know, Jon Bellion is part of their story somehow. Yeah,
he's just so good, dude. He's so talented, and especially with.
Please welcome to the
I wish. Yeah, man, he's just so good at what he does, and he kind of gave a window into the creation process. So he was doing vlogs kind of before vlogs were a big thing.
Yeah, that's true.
With the making of stuff. And this is to give other artists some credit too. Like that's what he's doing is the process that we do behind the scenes.
100%.
And now that's not to take away from the fact that he's actually just legitimately
he's goated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, for people to see that, I think that there was an illusion about what that process is like to the average person. So when they got a chance to see it and simultaneously see somebody who was doing it at a very high level, I think it was just like, this dude is the GOAT.
Yeah.
But look at the projects that he's put out. Glory Sound Prep came out in 2018.
Yeah.
And that song sounds album sounds insane.
Right now, you could drop that joint
bro.
right now, bro.
Yes, 100%. So I don't know, this new Jon Bellion album, bro, is going to be wild.
Yeah, because he's stayed sharp. It's not like he's just because he's been producing for other people. He's been in the studio. So I know that he's been growing as an artist as well. Because sometimes when people like just they haven't put out an album in a long time, but they also haven't been working out those muscles in the gym, so to speak. But it's like, nah, he's been producing hit records for people this whole time.
Dude. So he's got the reps in, dude. We're gonna hear something special, I think.
Shout out Jon Bellion, man.
Yeah,
hey,
bro.
Come be a part of Creative Control, you know what I'm saying? All right, so let's get into it, bro.
Let's
get into it, man. So, the joke is like, bro, you're the most like Christian hip hop, non-Christian hip hop artist, bro. Like, literally, like, I feel like maybe this isn't right, but I feel like a majority of your friends at this point are either just straight up like connected to Christian rap music or at least Christians themselves. Is this correct?
A good portion of them for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Except for all those like Satanists you hang out with.
Yeah, like John Keith.
Yeah, I forgot about them, but
yeah.
But no,
Satanists.
Yeah, just like,
just yeah, dude.
No,
I cover the field, bro.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
I just want to. I know you're keeping.
After this, I have a blood effigy to attend.
Keeping your options open, and you know what I mean. But no, but I think I do think like a lot of fans, they're like, bro, Nate is always around. He's around everybody. Like, what's going on? Like, you were just telling me how you were texting Ruslan like earlier. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they always see you with John. They see you with me. Like, they see you with Indie Tribe. Like, see it, Holy Smoke. Like, so can you speak to that a little bit? Like what's going on, man?
Well, I think it just happened organically.
Yeah.
You know, just via the type of people that I was around that were doing music at a high level. Mm-hmm. You know, you're one of the most successful artists in this area. Mm-hmm. The other, Derek Minor, was one of the most successful artists in this area. You know, so it happened to locally be like, if I was connecting via music, here are the people that are like really pursuing it. Yeah. And so I think that was initially the entry. But then also, man, I think that there's something special about Christian hip hop because I think that there's a rumination on what you're saying in a way that isn't necessarily present in secular hip hop. I think a lot of secular hip hop is very egocentric and almost like the focus of a lot of hip hop today, I feel like, is how do I say something that makes me look cool? Mm-hmm. I see that all over the board, and like I'm so jaded by that. Yeah, like it's like because Wayne used to say a lot of nothing. Yeah, but he had bars.
That's true.
You know, but now we have people just saying a lot of nothing with no bars. So we're just you know what I'm saying. We're just saying catchphrases that like 15-year-old kids are gonna just like you know what I'm saying, smoke some weed to. Yeah, like that. I don't know, bro. That's just not fulfilling to me. And what I love is that if you have somebody who is not just culturally Christian or culturally religious or whatever, they're wrestling with deep topics, and then if you're creating art, I think that there's a level of depth, for at least for the Christian hip hop artists that I hang around with. Yeah, no, you know what I'm saying?
That's interesting what you're saying because I hadn't even really considered that because, like you said, I was kind of playing when I said what's going on, but it's been organic, right? Yeah. But yeah, it's like, I mean, the things that you're saying about Christian hip hop, I resonate with so much. But there are other like people who are like, their experience with Christian hip hop is nothing like what you just said. But I think that you just hit on it, that it's like, well, when people are willing to like really wrestle with deep concepts and like, humility, and sacrifice and growing as a person, and addiction and all of these things, that's what is attractive to you. Like, as somebody who didn't come up through Christian hip hop, who isn't a Christian hip hop artist, you're like, and the people that you name, it makes sense. Like that's your entry point because the people you name, like Derek, like John, like, me, Indie Tribe, like what Ruslan's doing it with another medium, like
I think that's more of a recent realization. Yeah. Like I think this is, hindsight's 2020, but there's again, there's something that gave me the indication that I would be interested in my wife at the time. You know what I'm saying? Music taste, humor. I think that there's a reason why I gravitated towards Christian hip hop artists that were digging into things in a deep way, and that's like a philosophical interest, right? You know, and I think that I think the example of a type of Christian artist that I wouldn't really rock with is someone who is meeting a Jesus quota in their lyrics, or if it's very, very surface level. That's not something I connect to. I'm like, that doesn't seem artistic to me. It's not that deep. You know what I'm saying? It's yeah, I like the diving deep into stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's interesting too, because you've been on this journey of philosophy and faith and growing as a person and kind of like looking for answers in these different places. And when we met, I mean, not just when we met, but let's say like 3 years ago, how would you have identified, like, as far as faith and like philosophy?
Yeah, 3-4 years ago, I probably would have said I really don't think about it that much.
Okay.
I grew up Christian, but not in a way where like my household was like very about it. It was just like, yeah, we go to church so I feel like it was kind of cultural in that way.
Yeah.
I was never disenfranchised by the church by any stretch, but when I was 15, I was just like interested in the things I was interested in, and that just became my focus. I'm like, I love music and I love doing these things. And I think something that kept me away from the conversation anytime it would creep up would be like, what, I'm going to be the guy that figures it out. These conversations have been happening forever. I'm going to be the guy that once I look at the evidence, I find the answer. And I think that quickly that sort of fell apart because I'm like, oh, well, I'm a grown man. That's not a sufficient answer to be like, I don't know what I believe. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was a little bit of a turning point where I'm like, okay, let me start to kind of just like, what do I think about these things? And a lot of things inform that. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely been, it's a lifelong process for sure.
Mm-hmm. And so now, what would you say? Like,
I would say I haven't made the leap into Christianity specifically.
Right.
I would say that I'm on board with the Judeo-Christian value system. Mm-hmm. I'm very friendly to Christianity. I think there's a lot of insight. I think a lot of the wisdom and stuff that I picked up from my own life, I would have these ideas and be like, this seems to be right. This is correct about human nature. Mm-hmm. And then I would just see it just echoed in the Bible. I'm like, oh yeah, that's exactly what he was talking about there. I thought that was like, I'm like, okay, well that kind of validates. And then I would see another thing like that and see another thing like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, well I'm like, why am I reinventing the wheel here? Maybe I should take a look at like the smartest people of all time, what they had to say about these topics, you know what I mean?
Right.
And how they built on other people's smartest ideas as a baseline. Mm-hmm. And so it kind of just started that journey. So I would say that I'm pretty squarely on board with believing in a God. Mm-hmm. I think there's a bit of a hesitation, or not a hesitation, but I'm still exploring like making the leap from non-personal to personal God, someone who interacts in the affairs of humans and things like that. But I did have an interesting point in favor of that, which is, if we're made in the image of God, so much of our conscious experience is so catered towards relationships. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Why would then a greater conscious being just be devoid of any sort of relational thing? But that's sort of where I'm at. There's a lot of things that I still need to uncover. Mm-hmm. I think I am hesitant to just jump in without feeling like I have looked under all the rocks, you know what I mean? And because I think it would be inauthentic for me. It would feel as if, oh yeah, I'm accustomed to Christianity. I know the stories, so this is the easiest one for me to jump into. Mm-hmm. I think it would feel inauthentic. I don't think it would be as strong of a faith as I'd like it to be. You know what I'm saying? If I haven't, you know what I'm saying, seen what this person says or what the counter arguments for that is, or what do these other religions believe and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I would describe myself as a person in discovery, but very friendly to sort of the insights with Christianity. I mean, I'm reading Mere Christianity right now. Mm-hmm. But simultaneously, I'm also all in on just secular philosophy and everything from Carl Jung to Alex O'Connor. He's straight up an atheist, but I will say that I'm seeking for the meaning, and I feel like I'm being pulled in a particular direction. So that's what I would say, something like that.
And I mean, I know at this point you've had probably, maybe a couple dozen conversations between me and Mowgli and John about faith and like how like at the end, I think you actually said this to me at some point. At the end of the day, like, you know that, like, coming to faith is not like getting all your answers or getting answers to all your questions. Like, at some point, it's a leap of faith, and it is the other way too. Like,
For sure.
It's a leap of faith if it's a spectrum, like on the atheism agnostic. Like, you're making a leap of faith, regardless. You know what I mean? Type thing. I think that's what you had said.
But I would say also, I'm not afraid of if Christianity is true. I also shouldn't be afraid. I've had
Afraid to explore it.
Yeah, afraid
fully.
to explore it. It's like, okay, like, if you're standing on this is truth, cool. Like, I you know what I'm saying? I want to parse that as objectively as I can, and you know, so, and then if what you believe is really true, I'll probably end up at the same place. You know? So,
and I think that you're kind of discussing like that. Are you earnest in your I'm searching for truth? Because a lot of people are like, oh man, I don't subscribe to anything or organized religion or whatever, and I'm just out here a truth seeker. But it's like, you say that, and you have been going to church with us for like months now. You know what I mean? Like, you came to Alpha with us. Like, you have these conversations, and I think that lack of fear, because I think a lot of people are actually, they're not searching, they're trying to maybe protect their
ego.
You think
I would say, well, deep down, I think it is, because if you have to question, it's very difficult to question your own basis of how you view the world. That's a very uncomfortable process, and self-improvement, introspection, all of these things require that. It's the internal sacrifice. You have to have internal conversations with yourself and say, okay, nah, maybe I am out of line on this, or maybe I am incorrect about this. Let me, in just constantly trying to take a step back from that. And I think when you get in the habit of being introspective, it becomes a little bit easier for you to not feel like you're attacking yourself, or feel like if somebody gives you a critique on something that you're doing, it's not an attack on you, but rather information to inform a change that needs to happen.
Yeah.
I think that's really important, but it's an uncomfortable process. And the more ego you have, the more uncomfortable it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you have a very prideful person, try telling them anything that they're doing wrong. It's just immediately defensive. It's immediately, but you, and you know what I'm saying? And so I think if you're in the spirit of truth seeking, then I think that you have the humility to admit that I really don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And that there's value to be gained, from a variety of places. Yeah. And I think what religion purports to do is be the foundational metaphysical explanation for those things. And so, I mean, I'm trying to get to that,
What would you say in this, like, part of your journey is the most compelling thing about Christianity?
The most compelling thing about Christianity, I think there's a lot of really compelling things about Christianity.
Okay, so maybe not. It's always hard to answer questions.
No. Let me think.
Just some compelling things.
I think that your belief system, when acted out, will reflect how calibrated to truth it was.
Okay.
So if, for example, I like to use food analogies because they're easy to grasp. If I believe incorrectly that eating ice cream is a net benefit to my health, if that's my belief, then it's probably good to eat more ice cream. I should probably eat it 3 or 4 times a day.
Right.
Play that out. You know what I'm saying? See where that gets you. Reflect on that in 20 years. You know what I'm saying? When you have all these issues, that's when you find out that it was untrue. I think that when you have the closer you are calibrated to actual truth about human nature and about ways in which to act your life out, you can see the fruits of that as it's extended over time. You see that with finance. You see that in a bunch of that's kind of patently obvious if you think about it, right?
For sure.
And so for me,
mindset.
one of the things that I've really picked up from my Christian friends and from devout Christians that I've known in the past is the kind of warmth that they have about them. Even from Christians who don't have many material possessions. There's a level of joy and warmth and compassion and understanding and stillness and peace that they have. And it's because they're living their life on certain principles. And in order to have that as the byproduct
of the belief,
there has to be a true basis for it, or unless you just want to live a life that doesn't count those things. And I don't think there's a person on earth that truly wants to live a life, or truly does not want to live a life of peace, stability, joy, love, things like that. And so I think it's very compelling to see people that I know really, really embody and not just know the faith, but know the faith. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To see how they interact with human beings, and that's a model. That's a model. That's the type of place I want to get to, and and I think that it is calibrated very closely to that. You know,
I think that is a great rubric. I mean, that's a scriptural one too. Jesus says that like people will know us by our love. You know, Jesus is our master, like our rabbi, like our example, like. You know, even Christian little Christ, like we're supposed to be following his example. So to somebody who is not bought into Christianity, if we're literally saying, hey, I follow Jesus, and we don't display those things that you said, then that's not going to be
right.
That's not going to be compelling at all because of what you just said. It's like, oh, well.
Yeah.
You know, I
don't want to end up like you.
Yeah. And not even just like, oh, I don't want to live that life, but like deeper, what you said, like, the truth at the center of your behavior it doesn't ring true for how I see reality. Like, I don't think the best way to live it is a selfish, like, you know, egotistical, consuming way. And if that's what you're seeing, then you're like, well, the truth that you're built on is not compelling to me.
100%. But I think I do think that pushes a lot of people away, which, you know, obviously, and which I think is really important to, you know, I'm sure these are conversations that happen all the time within Christian circles, which is like constantly trying to reframe and make sure that you're actually, you know, practicing what you preach truly, because it does have that effect. Dennis Prager said that, you know, the best way to make someone an atheist is to be a bad Christian, and the best way to make someone a Christian is to be a good Christian. And it's literally just, it's like there is truth there. It's the failing of people to live up to those expectations. And, you know, of course, within Christianity, you're never going to reach perfection. Yeah. However, there's degrees of distance. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think when you do that, it does open people up to that. You know, a lot of my Christian friends, they never preached to me, you included. Yeah. It was sort of just like we would hang out, and, you know, at some point, I think this is why you can lead with love, and it really is really effective, because at some point you know, it opens up for conversations like, yo, like you seem to be, you know what I'm saying? You seem to have these qualities about you. Like, what is that? Like, what's going on there? And then I feel like that opens the conversation. Yeah. But that's what leads to the conversation first is noticing something that is desirable. Yeah. In the same way, if you would set material possessions as your idol at the top of the stack, you see somebody in a Ferrari and you're like, yo, like, teach me about business. Like, you know what I mean? Right. Because you're seeing that and you want that and you desire that, good. And they're a model for it, you know?
That's good. You're not going to go to somebody who, you know, in that example, like you're not going to go to somebody in a busted Hyundai and be like, bro, teach me how to be an entrepreneur.
For sure. In fact, if you had a guy that claimed to know everything about the stock market and he's living in his mom's basement. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then you're like, maybe the stock market is not for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah.
And I think the balance is like, you know, with the friends that you've had around you, it's like, yeah, we didn't feel, I don't know. I think it's just like not treating people like projects, like, or numbers. It's like, I truly, and you know this, we've had so many conversations. It's like, I really believe Jesus is who he says he is. And so that affects my life. That affects how I treat you. And when you ask big questions or you want to speak about philosophy and everything, bro, I'm fully in those conversations and I'm never shying away from Jesus. You know that. Yeah. But I didn't have to like decide whether we're going to be friends. Like, hey, bro, have you like, can you open Romans real quick? Like, do you affirm these things? No, all right, bro.
I'm out.
I'm out.
Peace.
Like, yes, bet we're friends.
But even that idea is so counterintuitive to Christian faith if you just understand it. Like, obviously counterintuitive.
Which is what I do want to like steer the conversation this way. What I love is that like you actually you have had. I see so much on the internet, so much online with people disillusioned with Christianity, and you have had like great experiences with Christians and with Christianity. You're like, the experience that you've had is like what I wish everybody had, because they're not disillusioned with this type of Christianity.
Well, not to cut you off, but to be fair, I've also had bad experiences with people who claim to be Christian, but I think even the answer to that is present within the faith itself, which is we are all inherently flawed.
Yeah.
And so it's not so to me, I never wrote it off as like, okay, then this truth must not be true. Yeah. I go, oh yeah, you actually accounted for that in the Bible, which is the fact that people are imperfect.
Yeah.
And there's just a failure of living up to this standard. Right. You know,
why we need forgiveness, why we need grace, why we need empowerment from the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
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 I kind of looked at, if I saw a bad Christian, I didn't go, oh, Christianity's wrong. I just go like, oh, you don't understand the thing you purport to believe. You think you do.
Yeah.
But like, you're just finger wagging at me.
Yeah.
And like, you're missing the point entirely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You won't come be a part of this circle at all. Yeah. You're not willing to reach out and like, just, you know what I'm saying? Be an example for this group of people. You know what I'm saying? Jesus, you know, look at the people that Jesus met with and helped and healed. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Prostitute.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's like, I was going to say that earlier, but like, part of being a quote unquote good Christian, because obviously there's like,
of course.
But like, is communicating the gospel, which the gospel, the good news is that Jesus takes our sins upon himself and lays down his life, takes on our sin, and he puts his righteousness on us. He accredits his righteousness to us, and our sin is accredited to him. So you're right. Like, if that is effectively communicated, then that is, somebody be like, oh, that's what's happening right there. Like, that person treated me in an unjust way, but that doesn't mean, but that's what Christianity is speaking about. That should be like, that injustice, Christianity actually says that's wrong.
Yeah.
And that Jesus took the penalty for that.
Yeah.
And he covers those that come to him in his righteousness. Like, it should fuel that. Like, you feeling like you've been wronged should mean that there must be a way that is right. Mm-hmm. Like, it can't just be, because what if it can't just be relative? It can't be like, if you're hurt because you feel like somebody did something wrong, what if that person's like, I didn't do anything wrong?
Right.
Are you wrong? Or there has to be a standard for that. It can't just be right for somebody to treat me that way. Right.
Yeah.
And Christianity says, no, they did wrong you. That is sinful. That is wrong. And we all do that. We all harm each other. We all do things that are wrong, and we need a savior.
Yeah.
You know? But it's both. It's like, it's welcoming people in. It's treating people as whole people, not as projects, as friends. I would say that Jesus treated everybody as a friend.
Yeah.
And if they wanted, he didn't leave people, like, they left him. You know what I mean? Like, he might give them a hard like teaching, or give them a hard call, but he was always come with me. This is what you got to do. I can't do that. I'm out.
Yeah.
But he was like, come on. All right, now here's something hard, but I come on, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm out. He never was like, I can't mess with them. You know what I mean? So, all right. Yeah. I think,
it went that fast.
It
went that fast, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let me see though. I still want to hit a couple of these. So
I'm with it.
Well, never mind. There's the wrap it up. Hold on though. Wait a minute. Actually, you know what? We actually like hit most of this stuff just by talking. I'm not gonna lie to you. Plug your stuff real quick, bro. What you got coming up on the horizon?
When is this coming out?
This is.
We don't know. You know what? I'll be generic, bro. I gotta.
It comes out after my album, right?
Yeah, it comes out like 2 weeks after his album. So
So my album's July 28th.
Yeah.
So,
July.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, the album is called Ultra Marathon.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? It's a
Real quick, what's it about? Yeah.
So ultra marathon is the commitment of seeking the highest good as an ultra marathon. It is a lifelong journey. You never reach perfection. It's just you just keep running. You choose to keep running, and there's adversity along the way. That's kind of the whole theme. So all of these records are based around the questioning. You know, like my interest in philosophy is now perfectly aligned with my interest in art. And these things, just like the more I learn about philosophy, the better art I make. You know, and they're kind of coming to a head. And you know, I think that I'll give a quick example. You know, a marketing funnel. So basically, if you think about it in terms of like art in relation to spirituality, like gospel music would be at the bottom funnel. That's made for people who have already accepted, bought in.
Yeah.
You know, I would say you're someone that is, you know, a little bit like is more above, because you're talking about like real issues and stuff. It's accessible to somebody that hasn't fully committed to Christianity. And then you have, you know, secular music and everything all outside of there. I don't think there's a lot of people kind of in this space where it's like, yo, hold on, bro. What we're being told is insufficient, and what is going on here?
Interesting.
And like those conversations I don't feel like are being had.
That's dope.
Who, you know, I mean, and there probably are some people, but I can't recall off the people that I'm listening to, like, too many people who are doing that. I think maybe somebody like J. Cole could kind of step into that. Right?
So you would say he would be at the top.
Yeah, you know, but also I feel like we're also uniquely positioned to pull people from different sections of the funnels. I don't think gospel music does an effective job of capturing a devout atheist. I think it in fact it might have the opposite effect. And so, you know, I'm looking at this.
Interesting.
The way that I'm approaching music is like I'm trying to just bring you at the part in the journey that I'm at. Or where I just left.
Which is authentic.
Where I just left, and you know, and so there's songs in there about forgiveness, songs in there about father-son relationships, songs about masculinity, a whole bunch of these different topics. So you know, I'm excited to release these, man.
Like, one of my favorite things about your art is the ability to discuss all of those like really big questions and pain points and philosophy. And it just sounds so good, bro. Like,
thanks, bro.
Like,
I think that's an important part too, because that is you're not gonna access people if your music's trash. Because that's part of it being accessible. Exactly. Like the art also, bro. There's a reason why like Renaissance paintings or cathedrals are so.
I do that every time somebody says Renaissance.
They're so beautiful, which I love that. Also, I love the whole message behind Renaissance. But there's a reason that these things were so magnificent, and it's because it was serving something greater than the artists themselves.
Right.
And wow. you can see that that's patently evident, you know, because there's so much like truth and passion behind it. And yeah, dude, like that has to be the standard. We can't just be, you know, Christian artists can't just be making like, you know, a Walmart version of your favorite rap music. No, you got to be an innovator in rap music that happens to be this. And that's why John Bellion has done so great.
Yes.
Because nobody makes music like Jon Bellion.
Yeah.
And he happens to be a guy that puts faith up there. So I appreciate that, you know, and that's the goal. Like that has to be the call to action. If you're an artist,
yes,
take that burden. And if you're a Christian artist, you have two things to commit to. You know what I'm saying? You have something that is beyond yourself that you get your creativity from, and you have a duty to communicate that. And as an artist, if that's your gift, you better treat that gift as if it's an offering to God.
Wow.
Mic drop, baby.
Hey,
bing, bing.
Amazing. All right, let's shift gears real quick. We gotta do it. We gotta do it. Control room. You're entering the control room.
Okay, I'm in here.
We gotta do this fast. Chelsea's going crazy in my peripheral vision. All right. What's your go-to dance move when nobody's watching?
Probably this.
Yeah, no, that's actually true. Can confirm.
All right. Done
If
it.
you could have dinner with any 3 people, living or dead, who would they be and why?
Leonardo da Vinci.
Okay.
Jesus.
Yes, sir.
Christ.
Oh,
And
I-
yeah, I had to add that just in case you guys were thinking something different. And Confucius. I don't know. I mean, we got to throw heavy hitters in there.
Okay,
All time
heavy hitters.
heavy hitters.
Okay. All right. I like that. What's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done in public that you're willing to admit?
Oh, one time when I was in I think I was in middle school. I don't know if this counts. I'm just gonna give you one.
Yeah.
In middle school, though, you know, I was trying to. I used to break dance a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I was at the skating rink, and we had dance battles and circles sometimes. And I tried some kind of breakdancing move I had never tried, and I smacked my knee on the ground, bro. And in that moment, all eyes are on you. You tried something with the confidence. You know what I'm saying? You're
Yeah.
trying to show off.
Yeah.
I smacked my knee, bro, and I was trying to hold it together, bro. I was in so much pain.
Yeah.
And I got up, and I just kind of you know what I'm saying? I kind of just moved out of there like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Okay. What's your favorite No Big Deal lyric?
Probably, then I eat a beat, and then I put it in a pamper.
Oh, yeah. Dang. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
What is, bro?
I love that. I love that one.
Sit it in a pamper. That's indie. That's from, calm down, man.
That's that smoke signal pack.
Yes.
Trillist.
Trilly.
Trilly?
Yeah. Trilly. Dang, I forgot about that, bro.
Bro, that one really spoke to me, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Dang, I got to run that back. All right. What is your specific problem with John Keith?
I don't have a specific problem with John Keith. I have a general problem with John Keith.
Okay. All right. We'll accept it.
But since in the interest of time, bro, I hate the way that you walk. And I hate the way that you talk, and I hate the way that you dress. You feel me?
Yeah.
So get right when you speak to me.
Yeah. We don't want to hit. No, I'm just playing. This has been Creative Control, episode 11. Thank y'all so much, man. I'll catch y'all next time.